Mitch from Hard Intentions YouTube channel. I just wanted to let people know we also have hardintentions.com, which is a website that we started to sell my artwork and t-shirts. And the t-shirts that we sell are designs that I created when I was in prison. They're all original. There's a hammer drop t-shirt. And here's the naughty biker. It's got knotwork surrounding him. Right. And then we also have the company logo. Right. And we have stickers also. Here's our company logo with our company motto: whatever it is you do, do it hard. And we have the singing devil. Right. Those are stickers. And we also have prints available. Right. There's Rebel Run print. And there's the disappearing print. Right. So we have some other prints available as well. Prints are about $10. Then we also do original artwork I do for people. This is a painting based on a photograph somebody sent me. So we have different things available. I just want to let people know it's at hardintentions.com, and we also have a Patreon account where we send out stickers and prints to people based on their monthly donations to that. I also have Instagram, which is Mitch.Smiley790, I believe, where people can DM me and check out my Instagram photos and all that kind of stuff. Keep up with the stuff I post on Instagram. This is a dream I had when I was in prison. I did 38 years in prison, and I did this artwork in there, and it's come to fruition since I've been out of prison. We really appreciate people visiting our website and picking up t-shirts and prints, and it's it's a validation of what I'm doing. It's a validation of a dream I had, and we really appreciate our customers, people that visit our site, pick up stuff and help support our dream. The Hard Intentions Army, we're building it. Thank you all very much for watching our YouTube channel. I hope you guys enjoy the video. And I just want to thank you for watching and subscribing, and just for all the love and support we get from people out there in the world. We just want to thank you very much. And I want to say be safe and enjoy your day. Thank you very much. Hi, this is Mitch from Hard Intentions YouTube channel. And guys are watching today. I appreciate it if you would subscribe. Helps us out quite a bit. Today I have a guest on who's did a little bit of time in prison here and there, and it's a little bit different than I normally have because I didn't know this man while he was in prison. Most of the guys I've interviewed up to this point I knew when I was in prison. But so anyways, let's get started. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, they call me Wacc, San Diego.
All right. So you're from San Diego. Did you grow up in San Diego?
Yep, I was born at Mercy Hospital.
All right. So what part of San Diego did you grow up in?
I actually started out in El Cajon, but I ended up in Linda Vista.
All right. All right.
And
so Linda Vista. Now, I grew up in Lakeside, El Cajon area. So Linda Vista, what kind of neighborhood is that? Like ethnically, is that like white? I thought there was a lot of Asians that lived over in that area.
So Linda Vista is, they call it the multicultural part of San Diego.
Okay.
There is a lot of Asians. Over the last probably 20, 30 years, there's a lot of Hispanics now.
Yeah.
There's blacks, Samoans. But it's mixed.
All right. So when you grew up there, what was it like? What was the ethnic balance?
Probably about, I'd say, 50% Asian, 40% black, or no, about 30% black, 20% Hispanic.
All right. So
not too many whites. The whites were more towards Claremont.
All right. So you were living pretty predominantly Asian black neighborhood. So And so did you gravitate towards certain crew?
Yep. Yep. I'm a what they call the infamous White Crips.
All
Uh,
right.
and that's what I was around when I was growing up, coming up. And you know, I didn't have too many I haven't had too many white friends in my life, not because I don't like them per se, you know what I mean? It's just I've never been around too many white boys, or you know what I mean, to hang out with.
Yeah. So like your family life, you have like mom and dad, any brothers, sisters, any of that kind of stuff?
Yeah, I've got all sisters. I don't have any brothers.
Yeah.
My mom ran off when I was 5. She was alcoholic and had drug problems, so she ran off when I was 6, and I didn't see her again until I was 14. And ever since I was 14, she's been in and out of my life.
Yeah.
She'll drop in for 6 months and then disappear for 3 years. And so it was my dad and my grandma really that raised me.
All right. All right. So I mean, like get like value system from your folks or your dad or anything. Was he a positive influence or?
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, you know what I mean. But I started messing up when I was young, 8 years old. They actually took me from my dad and put me into started the journey into the system. I went to a group home. I was gone from 8 years old until I was 13, and then they finally placed me back with my dad at 13. So 5 years in the foster care system and group
That,
homes.
that'd be the county system, right?
Right.
Juvenile hall play a part in that or?
Yeah. I went to juvenile hall for the first time when I was 11.
All
Me
right.
and some me and some kid jumped another kid at the group home and busted his eardrum.
All right. You make a trip out to Rancho del Campo or any of that kind of stuff?
Yeah. I went to Campo 3 times.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
a Ryle 1 graduate twice.
Yeah, I ran off from Rancho del Rio. Yeah.
Did you make it into Mexico?
No, we actually got picked up on the way back into town to San Diego by some guys that worked at Camp Marina, the adult camp. They picked us up. We were
Damn.
trying to hitchhike into town, they picked us up.
Oh, you guys went back towards the 8 freeway instead of going over Castle Rock into Mexico.
Yeah, yeah. So I imagine your journey through Juvenile Hall, Campo, and all that system kind of had an influence on you, like negative, I imagine, because it had a pretty negative influence on me.
Yeah, it just, you know what I mean? It was like, nobody cares, so why should I care? You know what I mean? And then, it just hardens your heart, you know what I mean? I think, there's a fine line in between locking a kid up to let him know that, hey, this ain't the right thing to do. You know what I mean? This is where you're going to end up if you do keep getting in trouble, and then leaving them in there too long to where they become basically institutionalized.
Yeah,
And that's what happened to me and happened to you and all these other kids that end up that go to juvenile hall or campo or whatever, and then end up in the joint.
right. So like, did you while you're in there, you get the feeling like, your guys you ran around with, like they're your homeboys, and that's kind of like that becomes kind of like your family identity kind of trip. You like bond with them. You have that kind of experience.
Oh yeah, I got homies that are still good homies. You know what I mean? And we talk to this day, and we were in juvenile hall together. Went to campo together. You know what I mean? Fought back to back in juvenile hall, and campo and all that. So yeah, I mean, you're away from your real family, and at that time I kind of like I don't hold the grudge too much anymore because my father passed away in '07. But I kind of felt like back then that my dad, he got remarried and had 2 more kids with his new wife, my stepmom, and I kind of felt like that he cared about them more than he cared about me. So
All right.
I gravitated towards my homies as a family
Right.
because of that. You know what I mean?
So once you got out of the juvenile system, you start getting involved with like crime or kind of like criminal activity become a part of your deal or what?
Yeah. I mean, so I was doing teenager shit, teenager gangbanging shit, you know what I mean? And would get locked up and get sent to camp over with, like I said, I went 3 times. And then my 18th birthday, they kicked me out of campo. And 6 months later, I was facing like 40 years in prison.
Yeah.
So I wasn't out that long.
So you're sitting in county jail fighting 40-year term?
Yeah.
Did you end up
Yep.
going to prison on that?
Yep. I took a deal for a lid of 5 to 15 years.
5
And they
to
get
15?
5 to 15, yeah. What
All
are they? The
right.
lowest they could give me was 5, and then the most they could give me was 15. And
So what
the
what
judge
did they give you?
7.
All right. So you got a 7-year term to prison. You were 18 years old?
18 years old.
All right. So man, you went off to prison. What year was that?
97.
All right. And you went to Donovan, I imagine, reception center.
Yeah, went right across the street from Bailey to Donovan.
Okay, so you were a White Crip.
White Crip.
Okay, so I imagine you ran with the blacks because
Yeah.
there's a lot of California racial shit. Is a big deal. There's a lot of racial separation. So what was going through your mind, when you figure, hey, I'm going to be going to prison for 7 years and I'm a White Crip, and you had some idea what white guys are like, probably from juvenile hall and county jail.
Oh yeah. It was so all through my teenage years I would hear I'd hear the older homies be like, man, if you go to the joint, it's gonna be on and cracking.
Yeah.
And but I didn't take heed. I got to the county jail and was fighting my case. I got into it with a couple of white boys a couple of times in Bailey, but nothing major. And because the white boys were always short as far as population goes in the county jail, so they really didn't. They really couldn't push the line. Not saying that they weren't down and they weren't. You know what I mean? It was just, But I remember I got sentenced, and that night it hit me. I'm like, damn, let's do or die now.
Yeah.
And I think I caught the chain like 3 days later, and I swear I didn't sleep in 3 days waiting to catch that chain to Donovan. And I remember actually walking down there to get on the chain across the street to Donovan, man, and I just felt it. I just felt the change within myself. I don't know how to explain it, but I just felt that change within myself where it was, it's eat or be eaten. You know what I mean? And I had it in my mind, like, you know what, the first dude that gets out of line, I got to put that demo down. You know what I mean? And let them know that, ain't no free one over here.
Yeah.
And so got across the street, got into R&R, and got, they pull you out to do your interview to ask you where you're from and any gang affiliations. And I remember, so the sergeant that was doing the interview, she asked me, she was like, so what race are you? And I'm a Crip. And she looked up and she was like, no, what race? And then she looked and seen that I was white, and she was like, oh, okay. So do you sell with blacks or do you sell with white? I'm like, no, I sell with blacks.
Yeah.
And she was like, oh, child. And she was a black lady, and she was like, oh, child, it might get ugly.
Yeah.
And so they put me back in the holding tank, and I ended up getting shot to building 16. Put me in a cell with an older black cat. And I remember I went up in there, and he was like, oh man. He was like, yeah. He said, man, he was a non-affiliate, and he was like, man. He was like, yeah, this is my third term, and yeah, no. And I'm asking him questions like, have you ever seen a White Crip make it? Have you, other than Snow Rock, I hadn't heard about anybody making it. So I'm asking him questions, and he's like, yeah. He's like, but they end up usually getting stabbed or ran off the yard. And I'm sitting there like, okay, cool, all right.
Yeah.
And so
he was being straight up with you, right?
Yeah, you know what I mean? And you
Yeah.
know what? I respect that. You know what I mean? So I just so I was like, all right, cool. You know what I mean? And the later on that day, my homeboy came and dropped me off some tobacco. I didn't even smoke. I didn't smoke on the streets, and brought me some tobacco and some soap and some deodorant and shit, toothpaste. And he was like, "Hey, I'm gonna go." He was like, "I'm gonna go holler at the woods and let them know you here." And I'm like, "All right, cool." And he was like, "Man, just be ready for anything, homie." He was like, "Make sure you go when you go to chow. Make sure you walking with some homies." And I'm
Yeah.
like, "All right, cool." And so went to chow later on that I think but it was dinner time. We walked to the chow hall, and you know, there was a couple stairs, and you know, people looking, and it was odd. You know what I mean? It was odd for people to see that, so I understood that. You know what I mean? And got back to the building, went through the little interview process, and then they shot me to I think building 18. Went
Yeah.
to building 18, and as I'm going in the building, I was with my homeboy, and so the white boys that went over there with us, they went to the white boy side of the day room. I went behind the homie to the black side of the day room, and there was a white boy porter. He was like, "Hey, hey, hey, no, we don't go over there. We go over there." I said, "Hey, homie, I'm a Crip," and he kind of like stopped. He had his broom in his hand. He the push broom, and he kind of stopped and he looked, and he was like, "Oh, all right." And so I'm thinking in my mind, like, man, I'm gonna have to fuck this mother. This is gonna be the first one right here. But he
Yeah.
turned around and walked away. But I noticed as I'm sitting there waiting for him to throw me up in a cell, I'm noticing him. He's going door to door, probably telling the other woods, like, "Hey,
Right.
we
Yeah.
got one." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but
Yeah. He's
yeah,
letting the white dudes know that there's a white crip in the house, you know. And
yep,
you know, for the white dudes, like I never seen a white crip until I went to Corcoran, you know. And
mm,
I remember there was a kid there. He's from Coco County. He had like 2 life withouts plus 15 of life, and the Corcoran has a couple basketball courts, and the white Crip dude was like with the blacks, and the white dudes are over there like, yeah, we're gonna get that dude, and they were trying to like talking about it and shit, and this kid had all that time. He goes, fuck it, I'll do it. And he just walked over there, and you know, he fucked the dude up, you know. But
yeah,
you know, one thing I did notice is that the blacks let them two get it on. You know, I mean, it was one-on-one deal, so they let it happen. But yeah, so
oh,
I
was
mean, having a
he
white crip on the
blasting him, or they
yard,
were
huh?
was he blasting him, or were they just fighting?
No, he just stomped him out. He beat him down. There was no stabbing. He just
Oh,
beat him
okay,
down pretty bad, though. You know, but I mean, they let him
damn,
fight heads up. You know,
yeah.
so but I mean, at that time, you know, in the mid '90s, there weren't a lot of white crips around, and
Nah, there wasn't. You know, even until I paroled in '04. I mean, I can probably tell you, there's probably a handful of us that made it, and we kind of all like know each other's names and where each other are from. I know
yeah,
Goldie from Long Beach, uh, Die Hard from Fortray Gangster. I mean, no, Die Hard from Pomona,
yeah.
Old Man from Fortray in L.A.
So
Uh,
so like you were in the reception center for a while. I mean, how long were you there?
I was only man. They got me up out of there, dog. I was there probably 30 days. So about a day after I got to my regular building on the reception yard, I went out to the yard, hit laughs with the homies, posted at the homies, at our table, and you could tell, you know what I mean, you could tell there was tension on the yard, and I remember two of the homies spun off and went and hollered at the woods, and they were over there talking for a minute. And I'm sitting there talking to the other homies. I'm like, man, fuck it. I'm getting more nervous as they over there talking to him. I'm like, man, fuck that. You know what I mean? Let me go over there and just fucking, you know what I mean? Just line it up with one of them. And they're like, it don't work like that here. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
This is prison now, bro. You know what I mean? And so the homies come back and was like, hey, so this is what's gonna be up, man. They gonna send one of their torpedoes. We go in the building, you gonna get down with them. I'm like, all right, let's go now. You know what I mean? They're like, nah, let's just wait till inline. You know what I mean? And you fuck that motherfucker up, Wacc. You know what I mean? You know what's up. I'm like, shit, let's do it. You know what I mean?
mm,
And so we went in the building. They sent it was a youngster, it was a young wood. I think he was a skinhead, or he was trying to be one of the other dudes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they sent him over there to me, man. And you know what I mean? I gave him a 2-piece and kind of busted his shit. You know what I mean? And he started leaking all over me. And I remember telling the home, because they had a homie. He had one of his people standing outside the door. One of my homies was standing outside the
Oh,
door.
you guys were in
And I
a
was like, man,
cell?
yeah. I was like, man, get this dude up off me, man.
Yeah.
I mean, he's leaking everywhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And after that, they sent one more. Me and him got down. The second one, he was kind of an older cat, probably about, I was 18 at the time. This dude the first time they sent in there, he was a youngster, probably 20 at the most.
Yeah.
But the second dude that I got down with, he was, he'd been to the pen probably a couple times, chatted up, got the swastikas all over, and he was probably about 27, 28.
Yeah.
And me and him had a good little rumble, you know what I mean? And so after that, it was, you know what I mean? It was all right, cool. And then
Fighting ain't no joke, man, because you got metal lockers and metal bunks and metal chairs and sinks. Man, I've seen guys go in there and fight and not get hurt too bad by the guy they're fighting with, but they'll fall into that locker and split their head open. And it's self-fighting ain't no joke, man. These new prisons, you know.
Yeah. And me and the second dude, we started in the cell, but ended up under the stairs, and you know what I mean? And then finally, we both got tired, and it was like, all right, that's it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And supposedly it was supposed to be cool, but I kind of knew in my head, like, you know what I mean? Hey, and even some of the homies were telling me, like, they gonna try something, homie, you know what I mean? When they, when the time was right. Yeah. And so about 2 weeks later, man, I get a ducat to go to medical out of the blue. I hadn't put in no request to go to medical or nothing like that. And so I'm coming out, I come out my cell, and the homies in the cells are yelling, "Hey, where you going?" I'm like, "Man, I'm going to medical." And the homie called me to his door, and he's like, "Hey, bro," he's like, they just let 6 white boys out, dog. I'm like, he's like, "Don't even go." I'm like, "Nah, fuck that, I'm going, homie." You know what I mean? Motherfuckers don't put no fear in my heart. So they open up the grill gate. I walk in the rotunda. They close the grill gate behind me. Then they open up the outside door. And as soon as they open up the outside door, 6 of them dudes rushed me right there in the rotunda.
Yeah.
And I remember I just locked on to the first one that ran up on me, and I just basically held on to him. I remember fucking grabbing his nuts, you know what I mean, trying to bite his motherfucking face off, while the other dudes, you know what I mean, were kicking me and doing all that, you know what I mean? But I'm like, shit, I need to get mine too, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And in the rotunda, it's not too big of a space anyways, you know what I mean? So, but yeah, all they did, I mean, they busted my lip, you know what I mean? I had some red marks and shit on my back and all that from, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But so they took me to the hole and shit. And I remember the sergeant was like, "Man, for 6 dudes to jump on you, man, you came out pretty good." I'm like, "Yeah." He was like, "But you know what, man?" He was like, "They don't want you here. The administration don't want the problems." He was like, "So you'll probably be up out of here, man, fairly soon." So I went to ICC, and they were basically like, "Yep, you got to go."
So where'd they send you to from reception?
So I got shot up to Tehachapi.
Tehachapi Max?
No, I actually started on the one of the lower yards, and the
level 2, level 3?
Level 3.
Yeah, because they had one level 3 yard there for a while.
It was a PWC yard. It was the permanent work crew yard.
Right.
And that's the yard they sent me to. And it was basically, they were trying to say that it was like a program yard where everybody had jobs and they weren't trying to, you know what I mean? But when I got there, I mean, I couldn't tell, you know what I mean? I got in, the second day I was there, I got into it with the woods. You know
I was trying to go there at one time because I heard they had a good wood factory, PIA, all that stuff. And they had one building, it was all workers, I guess, you know?
Yep. And so I got sent me up out of there, and then I had real bad asthma, and I had a hernia, and so they wanted to do I needed to get surgery, and so they were like, all right, do a medical transfer up there to CMC.
Okay.
And I remember coming back to the cell, and I was telling the homie, he like, oh man, you go to CMC, you going, you know what I mean? You'll be in the game, you know what I mean? You ain't gonna have to worry about nothing. So they transfer me up there, and I get there, and there's motherfuckers sunbathing in the yard. There's blacks walking the track with the whites, Mexicans walking the track with the blacks, and I'm tripping. As soon as I, you know what I mean? So I get off orientation, I get into it with a cop, and they take me to a back room, and they kind of rough me up a little bit, about 4 cops, and then send me to the home.
One thing I know about that prison, I mean to interrupt you, is they had lifer programs there, and I went there in 91 for a Cat X program, and they had the hole up on top of the hospital, and they had beat a guy to death up in there, and and they would take guys out of R&R and drag them into the hospital and beat them down. I mean, it was a program prison, but they kind of had the mentality like, hey, everybody here's a punk, because they just want a program, and they were beating guys down and they were killing guys.
No, and that's facts, bro. That is facts. I'm gonna tell you, because the lieutenant told me when I went to my initial classification hearing, he was like, "You're not gonna last here. We take program inmates. We don't accept gangbangers, and we especially don't accept no white boys that think they're black here." Yeah. And so I was like, you know what? Fuck you. They took me, hand me up. You know what I mean? Whooped on me again. Gave me a little baton. Beating treatment, and sent me to the hole again. I was there 5.5 months. I went to the hole like 4 times. Yeah. And they finally, and in that time I got probably like 10, 115. So my points went way over level 4. So they shot me up out of there, shot me back down to Tehachapi Max. Yeah. And that's I caught my first shoe term in CMC, and then they shot me to Tehachapi.
So what people don't understand is like your classification score is like 54 points and above is level 4. Under that's level 3, and then I think back then 28 and under was level 2, and then level 1, whatever, it's. But so
I think level 1 like 17 or something.
Yeah, like you're in a level 2 pin or level 3 pin, like CMCs to level 2, level 3, and they don't like you. They know, number one, if a cop writes you up, the lieutenant's going to find you guilty. That's how it works nowadays. There ain't no, back when I went in, you could be found not guilty of a 115, but now, like when you went in, it's already changed to where you get a 115, you're going to be found guilty, period.
It's a kangaroo court.
Yeah, and every 115 you get, which is a disciplinary write-up, your points would go up, I think 8 points or some shit. No, you could get 8 off a year for good behavior, but they would go up.
I think it was 7. It was 7 or 6.
You could get 8 off a year. But the thing is, each write-up had a different level of, like, for a stabbing, you could get like 25 points, and for a pruno, you get like 4 points. Or so the staff know, hey, we don't like this dude. We're going to write him up, and his points will keep going up. And the staff are just like us. They got little crews of staff that hook up, and like, so if this dude and this crew don't like you, his crew are going to mess with you until your points get so high. It's like, yeah, now we got him. He's off to a level 4. That's their game, right? So that's what they give you.
Yeah, they pencil whipped me basically.
Yeah.
And so they sent me to Tehachapi. I went to the SHU, went in a cell with a older Damu, older blood from LA. And I was kind of hesitant to go in a cell with a blood, but actually it was one of the best cellies I ever had. He kind of like laced me up and
that guy I know.
No, this is his homeboy though.
All right, yeah.
They know each other. They're comrades for sure.
Yeah.
And I got laced up, man. You know what I mean? And it was because I was about to be maybe 20, I think, of 19. You know what I mean? 19, right. 20, and so I was going off nothing but emotions. You know what I mean? Anger. You know what I mean? I'd respond to everything, you know what I mean? Anger, what's up? You know what I mean? I'll stab this motherfucker. You know what I mean? And the homie kind of had to like, you know what I mean? Like, hey, kick back, you know what I'm saying? Use your mind, youngster. You know what I mean?
Right.
Use your skin to use your skin to your advantage. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And at first I couldn't, you know, I kind of like took that as disrespect. Like, man, I'm a Crip, homie. I ain't, you know what I mean? I ain't no white boy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the thing is, too, Mitch, is I want to clarify this for some of the dudes out there that have been in the joint with White Crips, but have never taken the time to understand or even, you know what I mean? It's not that I don't claim being white, because I'll tell you in a minute, homie, I'm a white boy, dog.
Yeah.
You know, I got Garth Brooks in my CD player right here in my truck right now. You know what I mean? Hey, don't get it fucked up. You know, I'm a white boy, but at the same time, I'm a part of this organization, and I've been part of this organization for 20 plus years. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not with the racial shit, and that's on both sides. You know, that's on all sides. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's not that we're ashamed of our race or culture or whatever. I wasn't raised around that. You know what I mean? I don't know about skateboarding. I don't know about motorcycle riding. I don't know about Metallica and I don't know nothing about. I don't have nothing against it. It's just I was, you know what I mean? I wasn't raised in that in that environment. You know what I mean? So it's not it's not saying, hey, you know, fuck my white race and this and that. I would never say that. I'd be disrespecting my whole family if I was doing that. You know what I mean? I wasn't raised like that. You know what I mean? But I mean, there's been a handful of white boys that I became cool with in the joint. You know what I mean? Behind the wall or whatever, we at work. You know what I mean? And we just sit up there and chop it up. You know what I mean? We just knew that when it went down, it was, you know, there's a line there. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah. So you're in a cell with this guy in the shoe, and so how long were you in the shoe?
9 months.
All right. And they let you out on the main line somewhere after that?
Yeah, right there. They kicked me out right there at Tehachapi.
Yeah. Yeah. All right.
Kicked me out at Tehachapi. I ended up catching another shoe turn.
Right.
That's when the police found Pruno in my cell and took it upon itself to dump the Pruno on my bed and me and my cellie's bed. Right. Disrespectful. So he was standing out there at the podium. We got the door cracked for a shower, and me and the homie went out there and took off on him.
So you guys jumped on the cop?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, they like doing that when they find wine in your house. You know, they like to dump it on your bed, like to teach you a lesson, like it's funny, you know?
Yeah, like you're a fucking kid or something.
Yeah, yeah.
And so we kind of whooped on it.
You went back to the shoe for that.
Yeah, we went, yep. They whooped our ass. They broke my left hand. They broke like 3 ribs on the homie. They fucked us up, but we got ours in because we kind of fucked old boy up, man. You know what I mean? They had to hit they shot with the block gun at least twice. I told the homie, I'm like, I'm finna beat this motherfucker ass, homie. You know what I mean?
So, how long did you do in the shoe on that? And did you get a DA referral for that?
Got a DA referral and they rejected it.
Okay. And so how long were you in the shoe for that?
18 months, I believe.
And so when you got out of the shoe on that, so when you're in the shoe now you're exposed to, because you were on the main line with just regular white dudes. You know, there was some, you know, certain, you know,
guys. Yeah, there was a certain group running around.
Yeah, like they on the main line, they had certain guys that were like part of a street type gang. White. Yep. There were no prison gang guys on the main line back then because they were all in the shoe. So when you're in the shoe, you're around them dudes, right?
Yep.
Prison gang white dudes. And what was that like? Did you communicate with these dudes or what?
Yeah,